Hero, episode 110 live reaction. I'm very excited for this.
Yeah, it's a twice episode.
Damn. He's always got black eyes out here. Damn. Okay. Oh boy. Oh man. Bro, I love this character. That shit's deep. Whoa. This guy's like, oh.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. Mm. Just a place to belong, which seems to be a common theme with a lot of these folks. Oh boy. Bro.
Oof.
Ooh. Whoa. Holy shit, are they twisting her head off? Oh, he knows he's real. Oh my god. You just did him a favor.
Wow.
Holy shit, that's wild. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, yeah, Whoa. Oh, let's go.
Multiply.
Oh, shit. Wow, that was
Bro.
crazy. Boop. Ah. Oh, man. Yo!
Yo,
Holy
let's
shit,
go.
bro!
The Twice Liberation Army.
Bro, he's got a pocket army. Holy sh... Get out of town, bro.
Bro.
What the fuck, dude?
Infinite doubles.
What?
You can't fight this many twices.
Are you kidding? Are you kidding? I'm probably making this fucking mic spike so much right now, but holy shit, dude, it's like World War Z. Dude, I knew his quirk was busted. Wow. That guy literally is holding a laptop like that. Are you kidding me? And then the other guy has him sit on him. Whoa. Oh, okay. Yep. Uh-huh. Literally, dude. His quirk is insane. Hmm. Oh, shit. Dobby! Whoa. God.
Dude, Davi doesn't give a little fuck about any of these villains.
Yo, I'm dead, bro.
Dude, Twice is gonna save everybody.
Dude, Twice is gonna... Are you kidding me?
Love and courage, dude. That's all you needed.
Twice is something else entirely.
Hey.
Dude, look, they're all stomping the shit out of this guy on the right. Oh my god.
Dude, there's just so many of them. You literally can't fight them all.
Dude, I thought Naruto's shadow clones were like over the top. Oh shit.
Damn.
That's the whole quality thing. Doesn't even matter, dude. He's like the Soviet Union, bro. He's just like waves and waves. What? Whoa. Oh shit. Whoa.
Well, that doesn't sound messed up in any way, shape, or form.
Isn't that kind of... I thought that's what they were trying to fight. Oh, I guess I mixed that one up. Whoops. We'll talk about it after the episode. More, I'll ask. It is burnt, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, you don't need a nose to figure that out. You just look at his face and everything else, because...
Oh, shit. We got a limit. He's strong as fuck. This guy's out of his bird. Oh, is this when he...
That's the thing, the guy.
Dude, he is like nuts. He literally smells them. Holy shit!
Damn.
Yo,
Damn.
he's
My
a
man is
force,
going to
bro.
war. He's springing to action, literally.
He is quick as hell. Oh, that was a dope shot. Oh, this episode's fire. Literally. Just nonchalantly dodges rockets. No big deal. Holy shite. Oh, shit. Yo, twice, bro.
Yo, Twice is just putting in overtime, bro.
He could just go infinite because it doesn't seem like it drains him of energy, right? He didn't establish that when he was explaining his
The quirk is called infinite doubles.
Yeah, oh my god, that is busted. That's nuts, dude. Shigaraki, you gotta work on that posture, alright, for starters. You're gonna get back problems like hella early.
He's like, no, this is my villain posture.
Good and dead. While I rock you. Dude. Shit, dude.
Holy shit.
That's actually incredible. Because his
is...
clones can make clones, right? That's they established that? I'll have to rewatch the part. I thought it was
no,
like,
I don't think so. I think he's making infinite doubles of himself. So
okay.
it's all coming from the singular point.
Oh, okay. Because it looked like they were just spawning out of that middle spot.
Yeah, that's probably where he was at.
Oh, okay. He moved. What the fuck? Dude, we got some characters in this freaking arc.
Oh, this guy. Shigaraki's always looking at dudes like, what are you saying? Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Whoa. How do you do that?
He's literally a buffer, dude.
Oh, what?
His speech is literally buff like all his allies.
That's kind of awesome.
What you should do is something.
This guy's nose, bro. Oh shit!
Twice is rolled up in here.
Well, it's only a matter of time. Okay, is he the OG? I guess.
Probably.
Oh, they can make other ones.
Oh, they can.
Holy shit! Yeah, he said they're weakened though. Each time they split,
I guess that's the other.
They're a little weaker. So the first ones, your bones will break. They'll go.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
the next
yeah,
ones,
yeah,
it'll be like you bonk them on the head
yeah.
hard enough and they're gone. Oh, they're great.
That's so crazy, bro.
Even if we die, we aren't dead. That's a chant. Oh shit, here we go. Oh, my poor friend. See, it was a fake. Bro, did he just do that with his finger? Because that's kind of badass. So are they doubles? Did he just make doubles of the league?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, what the... That's kind of insane. He said, wait. Oh. What?
Damn.
Whoa.
Giga arm attack.
Holy shit. That was crazy. Oh, they cut his fingers off?
Yeah. Remember
Oh,
they sent
man.
them to him?
Oh.
What a weirdly sweet thing to.
Ah. Oh, shit. What is his quirk exactly? Oh, bro, with the freaking Matrix moves. That was insane. Why do I feel like his quirk's going to be able to cancel out Shigaraki's? Damn. Wow. Holy shit. Oh. Dude. What
Head
the
is just swinging around this Giga arm.
Oh shit. This is an intense episode, dude. Dude's got conviction, bro. I gotta say. Oh shit. Uh-oh. New ability? What? Who?
Oh shit.
Oh, the
Our
giant?
boy.
Oh, the real one. Oh! Wow, he upgraded his quirk, huh? Holy shit. I mean, theoretically, he could always do that. He just never did it. But damn. Did you see that one twice? He's like, what? Yeah, this guy's a little more than that, though. You don't say. Wow, bro.
Oof.
Wow.
Damn. Damn.
That
Where to
was
begin?
nutty.
So first off, why is Twice your favorite My Hero character?
Oh,
And why?
dude, I went at length in our previous talks about, that one episode that they had in like season 3 where they just focus on him. And that episode I was like, did Twice just become my favorite character? Because that was like super deep. I was like, wow, this is a really good episode. And this is a very troubled man. And like, it makes total sense why. Like, you don't really think of all the logistics of what it means to like literally clone yourself to the point where it's like you don't even know if you're real or not. It's like that's some crazy existential shit going on. So like I really liked his character from the start, but this in general was insane. I mean, I always knew his quirk was insane. If like obviously that's his drawback is his mental, he didn't have the mental fortitude. But now that he does, it's like this quirk is like not unstoppable, but like pretty freaking close, dude. Like, it's insane how quickly he can make them, and then his clones can make clones. So it's like he goes infinite fast, and it doesn't seem to drain him of energy either. It's not like, oh, I made X amount of clones. Like, what's her name? Can make stuff with the lipids from her body, but it drains her. So Momo,
Yeah.
so I think, right, so like, you know, she makes a cannon, she's out of commission, right, for what, like,
Yeah.
this dude could literally just make infinite copies, and it's not even himself. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but damn, I'm hyped. Like, he can like make other objects, other people with the same quirk as they do, clones of them. It's freaking nuts. They have a pocket army in him. Like, he is.
Yeah. Well,
he is
the
crazy.
only stipulation prior to this was, like you said, his mental state, right? You have people like Momo who, if I'm not mistaken, I believe her ability directly pulls from her metabolism. So she can't just go willy-nilly because it literally feeds off her, that like literally feeds off of her body, right? So she can't just like start freaking going ham like that because then she'll die. But Twice's, the limitation was self-imposed. It was because every time he duplicate himself, his mind would start to split apart, and he'd start to be like, wait a minute, who the fuck here is actually like the real Twice, and who like? But now, and I love how he contextualizes it in this, where everybody's like, yo, I thought you couldn't do that. And he's like, love and friendship conquered everything. And it's like, in a way, it did, right? His need and want to save Toga, one of the people from the League of Villains, and the League of Villains in themselves being the literal only thing in his life that has looked at Twice and been like, yeah, despite your faults, like we want you. Like, you're one of us. And like, that matters more to Twice than anything and anyone he's ever met, because nobody else has ever shown him that kindness. Nobody else has ever taken Twice with like faults and all. It's Twice, if you don't bend to our whim, if you don't mold yourself so you fit into our society. And you made it a point before, and it is sort of the underlying theme of the League of Villains, they just need a place to belong. Like, that's why they're here. That's why they all joined this group, this organization, because society told them that they don't work. Society told them that they're broken, that they're fucked up, that they that they don't adhere to the standards of meta humans or Quirk society. But the League did. The League said, no, there's a place for you here. You guys aren't freaks. You're not the problem. Like, there isn't something wrong with you. And I think on a larger scale, you could blow that out and be like, well, there is. They're running around killing people and like, yes, like, they're obviously the extent to take it to where they are being villains and actively hurting innocent people, of course, is obviously always a no. But I gotta say, man, because just for those of you who don't know, I'm a manga reader. I've read past this stuff. This arc really does make the villains like actual characters in my eyes, and it really gave them all to me like a genuine reason to stand against the heroes. And it's not just like, oh, you guys are goody two shoes. It's born out of this like primal rage. It's like, well, what the hell is so wrong with us that they let you guys in and not us? Like, why are we being chosen as outcasts? How come we don't fit in? Because you'll see, we saw it with Toga. I mean, we saw it a little bit with Toga. We saw it with Twice, and I don't exactly remember how many more backstory. I think they get into one more backstory a little bit in this arc. That a lot of the villains, their initial spawning point, let's just say, it wasn't them. It was society. It was society looking at their quirks, the things they could do, and being like, oh, ew, that's wrong. Oh no, you shouldn't do that. That's unbecoming of a hero or just a person in our society. And these kids at the time being like, what do you mean? Why? What's so wrong with me? And so, yeah, I think it up until, it's so great that this happens now, because like I've said, up until now, that's how you view the League of Villains, as these like weird, random, angry people that just want to like hurt the world. But it's because the world hurt them first, and being with each other gives them all a reason to fight. And like you said, or rather like Twice said, is it so wrong for a villain to want to save their friends? Villains are heroes, bad guys or good guys. These guys consider each other comrades. Some of them to varying degrees. It may not all be equally shared, but Twice is willing to die for these people, and not because they want to hurt the world, but because they don't want to hurt Twice, because these are his friends. They believed in him when no one else did. And so, yeah, this is just such a great way to round up his arc into the sort of focal point here of the theme of this, what I believe to be this arc. And I don't think they didn't show it, but because this was in the manga, that when you see Shigaraki break the building down, or actually, oh fuck, I might be getting it confused with another moment that comes later, but yes, there's moments equivalent to what happened with Twice and Toga, where like Shigaraki ends up getting a boost in his quirk, so to speak. Being able to, we saw it a little bit. Remember with the crowd, where he
Yes.
learned that he
He
is
was able
now
to chain
able to
them.
disintegrate things that are touching things he's touching, and he doesn't have to directly touch everything. But yeah, dude, I just this arc is so good because of the way it's so weird, man. I don't know. I'm curious for people in the comments to let me know if you've read the manga, because what you think of the pacing, because sometimes the pacing feels like rapid fast, like it's moving like way too quick in comparison to the manga, but I do feel like they're hitting most of the important beats. And I know initially I was skeptic, or I was worried, because I was like, oh, there's not really a lot of episodes left in this season. Like I don't want them to rush this shit, because it definitely needs its time. Um, and I don't really know how I feel, to be honest. Like I said, like some points I'm like, okay, great, we're on a roll. And other times I'm like, well, wait, hold up, back. Didn't you like? Was that, I don't know.
So
So
I actually have a question for you because I'm not gonna lie. You know how it goes. We pump it up, we jazz it up, but I gotta be realistic. Like there were some critiques, very minimal. But I want to
sure.
ask the question first. Do they go a little bit more into Twice and his overcoming of his mental ability, not just his backstory, right? Because I think they did a
Mhm.
sufficient job, I guess, of his backstory. I mean, like the actual moment where he is like, "Oh, I'm real. Like this is like I'm the one. Like
Yes,
this is me." They go further into that because,
yeah.
right? Okay,
I
because
think I think this episode's whole point was they wanted to get Destro introduced as quickly as possible.
yeah,
Because that Twice thing, that was part of it, where that moved way quicker than it does in the
because I have
manga.
to say, if I had a small critique of this episode, and I didn't say it during, I was gonna wait until after, but I was a little upset at how quickly he flips the switch. Because I
Mm,
think part of his character is because like why I like his character is because of this crazy mental thing. So like it for him to snap out of it so quickly and like immediately jump into like, oh, pocket army, I'm fine now, and then he's like love and friendship, like, which isn't a joke, like that was like legitimately part of the reason, but it would have been nice to see that like fleshed out instead of them just like breaking his arms, and then
yeah,
he's like,
it's
oh,
like
I'm me
that's what
and
I
like I'm
mean. Like
cured,
it's weird
like
because all the beats are there, like they hit on
yeah,
all the points that need to be hit, but the whole point is that the manga draws those out more. So
yeah,
you really feel like that. I think in the manga there's like several attempts for them to like to get Toga, and you like think you think she's safe, and then and then she's not, and then like there's a lot more back and forth, and there's a lot more like waiting and like really melding with Twice's mind and being like,
yes,
what is going on in this dude's head? What is he thinking? Why is he thinking it? And then those moments happen, so the payoff feels a little bit better than
yeah.
like now, where it's like, oh, A B C boom, and now Twice is he's OP.
Makes sense. Read the book, kids.
Always read the
But
book.
for real though, because that was a critique, and I was like, okay, I could see that as a manga reader, like that being an example of you being like a little turned off. But like again, like that was small because it was a small critique because I had a feeling they went into it further in the manga. So I'm like, okay, I know
Yeah,
there
yeah.
is a source for that if I wanted to look into that further. I'll just
Mm.
have to take it for what it is. It's sped up version here. But yeah, beyond that, I mean, like him getting over it, and then him like his quirk is insane. And then I want to know about more about Redestro, which is like, come on, bro, Phil, you make your own path. What are you doing? You know what I mean? Well, whatever. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem with filling shoes, big shoes to fill. You know what I mean? Like you're never gonna stack up to the first guy who did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Yeah,
just throwing it
yeah.
out there. It's always gonna be him. But whatever. His
Like, hey,
quirk.
read Destro, love what you do, but just like, come on, man, wait, get your own identity.
Yeah, like you didn't start it though. So like even though you finished it, it's like we're still never gonna look at you the same because you weren't the guy who invented it. So whatever. But jokes aside, his quirk, I don't know what it is really. But to be honest, I really don't have an explanation at all. I don't think I should have an explanation at this point. But it seems strong, is all I gotta say. Which is, saying something. Obviously, he's the boss. His quirk seems pretty nuts because I don't know how large he can make his limbs or his body technically.
Mm.
If he's like a muscular but like even more jacked up, you know what I'm saying? It almost seemed a little similar to the quirk that All For One used against All Might, where he kept on. Yeah, it was a little different, but where point is, it's like normally speaking, I've noticed that like people that could make their bodies just freaking ginormous is always just a solid quirk to have because you're just huge. So like
Oh, yeah.
everything you do just hits with that much more force. So it's like it's probably not a bad place to start, but it also seemed like he turns to like stone or something like that. I don't know what it is, which is interesting because I'm wondering if he has a direct counter to Shigaraki's quirk, or if I'm looking too far into that, which would be relevant. Like if Shigaraki, because we know he doesn't die because this is back in time and we see him in the present day. So obviously he doesn't get killed unless I misinterpreted that. But I'm wondering if it's because his quirk is like can mitigate the damage or just nullify it completely that Shigaraki's trying to do by disintegrating him, by touching him, if that like is a sheet of armor against him or something like that. I find that to be very interesting. I wonder what the deal with that is, or what the drawbacks of his quirk are, and what it is. It seems like very strong. So
well, I would say the other dangerous thing about it is that he can grow parts of his body to different sizes.
Yes.
His whole body doesn't have to grow at once, which is another advantage because it's not like Mount Lady where it's like, oh, you grow big, but all of you is big. So while you get that strength, you kind of become a bigger target to hit.
Yes.
It's like he still seems to be able to move with the dexterity of his body at standard size, but growing body parts too much larger. And yeah, like you said, that like stuff that takes him over looks to like harden his body. So he basically just becomes this like giant morphing fucking rock solid weapon.
yeah, it's pretty dope. It was cool to see in action, so I'm curious about that. And then the last thing that I wanted to clarify on here, because I think I misinterpreted this at first. I mean, well, it's really not much to ask because he kind of explained it, but I guess I misinterpreted their mission at first, and I didn't know that it was going to be that your meta power, quote unquote, or your quirk was going to determine your status, because I misinterpreted their mission, and like their whole thing is like, okay, everybody should be able to freely use them, right? Like, and be themselves and all that kind of stuff. I'm like, okay, that made sense. But I felt like I was like, oh, you guys are making like a hierarchy based off their quirk. You know what I mean? Like, I thought that was kind of I didn't realize that was what they were doing. I thought it was more, I thought that was part of what they didn't like, because I feel like society in a way more subliminally or subtly rather, like they kind of already do that. Like you're kind of already ranked by your quirk in society as it is, like maybe not as explicitly, but like you get your top heroes and you get, you know what I mean? Like your people, like there's a clear delineation between the guy that could shoot fire out of his hands and the dude that could turn his head into a cactus. You know what I mean? Like huge delineations between that. And maybe that's just because we're seeing it more from the hero perspective, where it's like, well, part of the job is like genetically you kind of have to have a good quirk to be a great hero. Like not literally, I know there's exceptions, but like you get my point. Like you're going to be able to do way more damage or mitigate way more damage if your quirk is nuts. So like obviously that helps in the hero profession. So maybe I'm looking at it through the lens of the hero society a little too much, but I mean that's the show. But anyway, rant aside, I felt like I was like, oh, I feel like society kind of already does that. I thought that's what you guys were kind of like beefing against, but I guess that was maybe more of like a stain thing or whatever the case might be. And that wasn't their goal. I guess they're just like, okay, it's quirks or bust.
The implication is that are people in society who, because of whatever their abilities are you know, basically the League of Villains, right? They're shunned away and they're cast aside. They're told that they can't be a part of said society just because of their quirk. I think the goal, while still sounding similar, because it's like, well, yeah, everybody's status is going to be tied to their quirk, is that nobody will be disposed of because like nobody has to be afraid of whatever their quirk is. There'll be a place. So it's like it's this. They want to basically, if you take the League of Villains agenda and like not pervert it per se, but like if you were to water it down, right, and be like, okay, we're going to keep a societal structure here. We're just going to fine tune it so that you guys don't get to decide, you know, so you people, the people at the head of the organizations and governments and stuff, that you don't get to decide who is and isn't worthy to be in this society. Right? Like if you have a quirk, it will define your status in the society, but you won't be shunned out or you won't be told you don't belong.
It's kind of interesting to me though. I'm sorry to cut you off, but like it keeps on nagging on my head where it's like, I feel like even when you just, not you, but like when he even says what his goal is, it literally, his whole philosophy falls flat in him just explaining it, in the sense that it's like, you realize what you're doing by creating a hierarchy of people that are judged based off of what their quirk can do. You are inherently shunning the people that don't have quirks that are as good as what yours can do, right? Because they are inherently lower in the social totem pole. So like you're kind of, and I guess that's the irony with the villains half the time, is like they think they're like doing some crazy shit that no one's ever thought about before, and this is going to be a utopia. And it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you're doing the same fucking thing. You're just reskinning it.
Well,
You
it's
know what
all
I'm
yeah,
saying? Like,
it's all linked to their traumas, right? So if
Yeah.
these people in the meta liberation were all shunned from society, in their minds, that's what's wrong with society, is that it
Sure.
would go so far to shun people who have quirks that society collectively or whatever believes don't belong or don't fit.
Sure.
So they're not even so much up like putting at fault the like, yeah, people are naturally going to have like that's natural selection. People are going to have natural places higher or lower in a society because of their quirk, but there shouldn't be a quirk that's so appalling that society neglects it outright. And now
Sure.
you have the League of Villains who are obviously going a step farther, and they're like, no, all of it's fucked. We're tearing every single wall down. Like, none of this shit makes sense. None of it works. We are completely this shit broke us. We're gonna break it. Eye for an eye.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of where these guys are clashing, at least.
Yeah, it's weird. I guess I just like, I'm curious to know at the end of this arc how I feel, but I guess like right now, the one issue I have with, how do I describe this? Like the one issue I have with, you know, the League of Villains or the Liberation Army or whatever is just that, where it's like, I feel like some of the individual characters within the League of Villains, you've maybe, you know, depending on who you are, have shown more sympathy towards because of certain, you know, factors. I'm probably a little harder on some of them because, you know, as Isaiah even mentioned, you know, when he was explaining it, it's like, sure, like, I understand that sucks that, like, your quirk is not accepted, but, like, in Toga's case, it's like, you killed a guy and drank his blood. You know what I mean? It's like, I get your quirk is a little wonky, you know what I'm saying? But like, you don't kill people, like just straight up, you know what I mean? Like you don't do that. So like, once you do that, it's like, I don't feel bad for you anymore. That it's like, oh, no one would accept me or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you fucking killed a guy. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry. Like, you know, you gotta cope with that. And it wasn't on accident. Like Shigaraki accidentally disintegrated his mother. That's fucking terrible. You know what I mean? Like he didn't see, or whatever, he disintegrated his parents or something. That was, well, as far as we know, it was an accident. That is a different story. You know what I mean? In the sense that, like, you didn't mean to, but someone like Toga. But anyway, I digress. My point is that, like, there's some sympathy to be had with some of the individual characters, but I guess Shigaraki and, like, the League of Villains as a whole, and then the Liberation Army as well, like, I can't help but feel right now, and I'm hoping this will change by the end of the arc, or maybe I'm just not understanding it properly. Like, Shigaraki's plan, or, like, his goal, seems like very, like, baseline surface level villainy, you know what I mean, where it's like, it's not really some sort of extravagant plan. It's like, oh, I just hate everything and anything because I was caused harm and people suck and whatever, and so I'm just gonna destroy it all. But like, you know, that's just like, to me, you know what I mean, it doesn't make like, I certainly don't feel bad for him, and it's like, it kind of makes it harder for me to sympathize with what it is they're doing. I could sympathize on an individual level with some of the characters, but at the end of the day, it's like, okay, they accept you, but like, you're fully aware of the fact that this man is trying to just destroy the planet. So, I mean, or whatever.
Yeah,
you know?
that's just it. I don't think you're meant to sympathize with the League of Villains as a group, because they are just blatantly going out and killing whoever tells them they can't do what they want, which is a no. Like, you know, which is a no-go in any situation. But it's really like, you know, I think it's really just the, you know, the origins of why they ended up in the League of Villains, because the League of Villains is a group that was created and sort of manipulated by All for One, right? So first and foremost, All for One's intentions are the ones behind the League of Villains, right? Everybody in the League of Villains I would consider to be somebody who was manipulated and coerced into being a part of this group, because, you know, like it or not, however good of a feeling it felt to feel like you belonged in this group, All for One knows that, right? He knows that all these people were rejected. He knows that they're feeling that. He knows that they have X, Y, or Z trauma, and is using that to mold them into these perfect villains, these, you know, this group, this league. So, yeah, I don't think we're meant so much to sympathize with the League of Villains, like, oh, why doesn't the League of Villains just get their way?
Yeah.
As more of like it's a critical thinking point of like, it's very interesting that instead of trying to put Toga into like therapy or like get her any sort of help, that society was just like, wow, ew, no. And, you know, there's steps to it, because she didn't like immediately jump to killing a guy. That was sort of like,
you're right.
a response
did explain
to
that in the backstory.
Yeah,
her
it was a
parents
response
were not
to, like,
very loving about it either. You know what I mean?
yeah, they found her with a dead bird, and they found her, drinking and tasting the blood of the dead bird, and that was the initial spawning off point
Yeah.
of like, oh no, we need to put this shit under lock and key. Like nobody can find out that you like this or do this. And what's the problem with kids like that is that doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. That urge is still going to be there. So if it just festers and festers and festers, instead of getting her help, instead of talking through these issues and finding out, they just put that shit as tightly under a rug as they could, and then it spilled over. With Shigaraki, with Twice, I think it's just so much you're supposed to be like, wow, it's interesting that this society here that hoists up these heroes that claims to be all perfect seems to be willing to do some pretty nasty and brush under the rug some pretty not so nice looking things. I think that's really weird.
No, for sure. You know what's funny is that it's not funny, it's terrible, but it's like, you know what I mean when I say that. Like, there's actually a connection now that I'm thinking a lot of these backstories that, not to get like too deep here or like too serious, but that applies to real life, and that's parenting or lack thereof. And it's funny because in virtually every villain story we've heard so far, their parents had either shunned them or were terrible or were just not in the picture because they had died an early death. And which is like always seems to be the start. Like Shigaraki accidentally killed his, so he doesn't have parental figures in his life. You know what I mean? All for One kind of fills that void because he's, down in the dumps. Twice's parents died when he was in middle school, which is very young. Toga's parents shunned her for what, she was doing and really didn't take a great course of action trying to help their daughter. And Dabi, although it's not confirmed, I'm really, really on the train of like he's Endeavor's kid. He was like the first one that just like failed experimentally. I could eat my words on this and be dead wrong, but if that is the case, again, terrible parenting. So I've just thrown it out there for anyone, just saying, if you're gonna, you're thinking of starting a family and shit, just know that like you have a huge influence. Like if you die, that's one thing. You know what I mean? That's terrible.
I mean, how many?
But like, if you're there for your kid, like you have a giant influence on how they end up a lot of time, just because of how they come to you with problems or how you are receptive to them or not, and all that kind of stuff. And just throwing it out there. Be ready for that.
As a child, when your kids start drinking blood, go get them help.
That's what I'm saying.
As a child, so many of your formative years are under the tutelage of your parents, and so much of how you shape your identity of the world is through correlation of how your parents deal with things, right? If you come to your parents with a problem and their response is to kick you out of their life or shun you away or tell you that you're only supposed to act and behave a certain way, that is how you will internalize how the world behaves. And that's how you're going to start to shape your opinion of said world you live in, because that's your focal point. Your parents are so much of your understanding of your world, especially when you're young. So even if you grow up, you've grown up now and you're an adult, but that's a lot of fucking baggage to carry with you into adulthood. And if you don't get the proper help, if you don't seek the correct, knowledge, the understanding, the correct guides, right? Because that's the other thing is, you could say that it is the fault of all these parents not just plainly not being in the picture or being there and not being a good parent. And that's really it, right? Is that these parents though, right? Let's take not to spin off on a tangent here, but some of these villains' parents, if society wasn't built in a way that made them prioritize good looking quirks, they probably would feel more willing to get someone like Toga the help she needs, or actually have an honest conversation with her about this quirk she has, instead of being like, oh, you drink blood? No, that's not going to look good on the morning newspaper. So we can't. Now people aren't going to like that. It's people don't matter. It's your family is what should matter to you first and foremost. You're the parents, and that's your daughter. I don't care what the newspaper says. Help your, you know what I mean? It's so society sort of has warped, and that's what was my first point is that this society, my hero is on the outside, looks very prim and proper, but there's a lot of nasty shit that they've sort of subtly psychologically embedded in their citizens of how you're supposed to live your life here. And that's make sure you have a good quirk, make sure you have a useful quirk, don't bother because we don't want you. That's the actual message. The one on top is oh, try hard and you can be whatever you want. That's not actually true. Because if you don't fit their mold, their picture, then we don't want you really.
Yeah, it's some deep shit, man. We haven't talked this hard on or long rather with my hero for a while, but full disclosure, since the last episode, it's been a little bit since we watched an episode here, and I was like, wow, this episode hit really hard. That was there's a
And
lot
trust
to
me, bro,
unpack.
all I'll say on Shigaraki is his character growth's not done yet. That's all I'm gonna say. On him.
Exactly. And that's why I wanted to preface for anyone that's like, oh, Ian, you don't get it, like manga readers and stuff like that. I want to make it abundantly clear that my perspective is from episode 110, wherever we are, 111. Like, there are still more episodes to go, and I could have a turnaround or be more empathetic towards
and like
whatever he's doing.
You should feel the way you're feeling, right? Like, there's no real there's nothing that's happened where it's like, oh, you just don't get it, because like, up until events are revealed, you should be like, well, what's the point here, Shigaraki?
Yeah,
his growth's not done.
Exactly. I'm just excited for Giant Man to come through and just start just going crazy and just mayhem there, because that guy is terrifying, dude. He is so fast. I did not realize how fast he was for his size. Like, and he sleeps underground, which is actually hilarious. The world is his blanket. You know what I mean? Which is like, that just makes me laugh. Literally. But I'm like, this guy is like no joke, dude. That was like his bodyguard, like the old bodyguard. His Quirk is, that's a strong character. That's a force of nature, bro. Anyway, I'm done ranting. Hopefully you guys enjoyed our talk and review afterwards. We were just excited about this episode. It was a good one, so it was fun to talk about. But anyway, if you enjoyed what you saw today, make sure you guys are liking this video, sharing it with your friends, commenting your thoughts down below. What did you think of our reaction this episode? Is there anything we missed or glossed over, or is there any sort of point that we addressed that you maybe feel a different way about civilly, or you agree, or whatever the case might be? Let us know. My camera also froze right now for the second time, so the universe is telling me that I need to wrap this up quickly. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. We're gonna activate that again. Here I am in the flesh in real life. You guys can make some good memes come from my faces. But anyway, all that kind of stuff. Subscribe and hit us up in the description down below. Click the Linktree link, and that'll take you to all the ways that you could support us. Namely our Patreon, if you want exclusive benefits to the show while supporting us, like early unfiltered access to live reactions, My Hero included. But anyway, I'm done talking. Thank you for hanging out with us for as long as you have. Until next time, we will catch you all on the flip. Peace.
Peace.
Ninjas are samurais, blaze of the kunais. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls though, who like seeing parts fly. They like what you saying, Goma got more through the storylines. I tested your neck from the start. My hunters gon' come for your heart. I promise you'll land in my boulevard. Left them in one piece, no curse.